call me Tuco, sell that cocoa, trapping out the bando scene. I'm popping tags, I'm popping on, so fuck all of your jealousy. I fucked a neither cup to me, I killed all of that pussy.
Yeah.
I kind of want there to be a Canadian rapper civil war, you know?
Classified versus Sunreal.
Yeah. Dax will throw his head...
Is Dax Canadian?
Yeah.
Really? No way. Like, what is he,
He's
Vancouver,
from, like,
Toronto?
BC.
Oh, okay. It's always like BC
Yeah,
these days.
I know.
I don't know what it is.
Sunreal. Shout out him.
Yeah, man.
We could get him on the pod, you think?
He played at Sound of Music, I think, it might have been last year? 2 years ago?
I just
Someone
watched
more informed than me.
Schoolboy Q's what is it called?
The Cave?
The Cave.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. He just didn't...
He didn't try
he,
at all.
He didn't fuck with the premise of the show. He was like, no, fuck that. I'm all wrapped out or whatever.
I kind of prefer that.
Yeah, fuck him.
Create this whole concept and then just don't do
Tear it down.
none of it at all.
Yeah.
Just sit
Good
there.
for him. I mean, could we get on The Cave now? I think it's to the point where it's like no one's really looking out for it. Like,
I mean, after the Schoolboy Q album, if they had our episode, they would have had us. Like that would be
the SuperFinger episode. Yeah.
That would be a real just drop off a cliff. For,
yeah.
For his ratings.
I mean, we're about to make some money moves. Please Don't Call the Cops is hitting streaming services. Could be by the time this episode.
Dude.
I finally fucking...
There's gonna be protests in the streets.
I finally bit the bullet, and I just paid for DistroKid because I want our new album to be on streaming, so I just put Please Don't Call the Cops up there for the time being. I did bleep out one or two lyrics that I thought was maybe just, you know,
too hot
a little bit much for streaming. But if you're really down with it, you can check it out on... It's been out on SoundCloud and YouTube for a minute. But yeah, it's exciting. That's I'm kind of doing that as the rollout for the new shit. Getting that going. Welcome if it's your first time. Welcome to the Rapcast. I'm your beloved co-host Andrew, aka Young Jizz, to my right, as always.
The hated Buddy Alex.
The controversial
viral TikTok star. We had 2,000 views on the
And our last one did numbers.
I'm not here
YouTube.
to brag, but I am gonna do that first things first.
Yes,
right
sir.
off the bat.
Check out our TikTok at SuperFinger Inc. Our Instagram as well. Our Twitter. Our Twitter's kind of dead, but you know, is what it is.
It's so funny how you can just like, oh, we got like an extra like 20 views, self-esteem through the roof.
Yeah, I know.
We're back. It's really happening.
Yeah. Well, it's hip hop is fucking in the news now, and it's it shows because our last episode did really well, and we're here to give you more of what you're fucking craving for. We're gonna get right into the fucking beef, all that shit, go through a whole timeline. We're missing our third mic here, Josh, aka Jay Pasty, aka PJ Martian. He might show up halfway through.
The captain of this ship.
He keeps things going, audio-wise, the little engineer that could. He's at work right now, getting the bag. He's probably going to pop in at some point when he comes back from work, and he'll maybe give it 2 cents. But we're also going to call up our buddy Deego later on to get his thoughts on the beef. We're kind of resident Kendrick stannies. He's the Drake stan. We're going to kind of do it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good conversation.
Two sides of the convo.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when we talk about Drake, we just both dislike him as a person so much.
Yeah.
Music aside, we just don't like him. So sometimes, but it's good to have someone who genuinely still supports Drake.
And he likes Kendrick too. Like, he's a big Kendrick fan.
No,
obviously.
He's not like one of these, you know, Kendrick boring.
Yeah.
I only listen to Drake and...
Nah. Who's on his side? 21 Savage?
Yeah, 21 Savage, I guess.
Travis Scott's kind of in between.
Thing is, Drake doesn't really have anybody on his side who's come out publicly on his, and done a diss track on his...
Tupac.
He's
got Tupac on his side.
He's got to get AI people.
We'll get into it. We're going to get into it. But first of all, we want to kind of go in order here, because last episode we talked about the Like That verse. And we kind of theorized what would happen from here.
We were way
off. I predicted that Cole wasn't going to drop at all. He was the first one to drop a few days later after we recorded the podcast before we posted it.
And it wasn't just a diss track; it was a whole album.
It was a whole album called "Might Delete Later." It's 10 tracks. We're going to talk about the album for a bit, kind of and then end off with the 7-minute drill song that kind of leads us into the beef. We're going to go timeline. We're going to do a timeline of the beef. Update everyone on what's going on.
There's been
in case you're uninformed.
A lot of things going on.
It's fucking messy. It's ongoing.
It's easy to miss out on things. Even.
Yeah, shit dropped yesterday. Like Kanye dropped a remix, and It's crazy.
Everyone's throwing their hat into the ring, which is fun for us to watch, for sure.
Yeah, and fun for us to talk about, because we haven't really... This is probably one of the biggest things that's happened in hip-hop in a long time, and it's cool that we have this platform to talk about it.
And also, just for me, selfishly, the idea of Drake being vanquished and not having to see him anymore is so exciting.
Yeah.
Because it makes my job easier.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe I kind of love Drake, even though I hate him.
He's great for the podcast, I think.
He's Canadian. You know, we all knew him from Degrassi before he was even big like that.
That's the thing. If I ever saw Drake in the streets of Toronto, where I am, I would.
You would turn into such a fan.
I would switch sides so easily. Yeah.
You'd be like OVO. But we like other Canadian. It's not like an anti-Canadian thing.
Yeah.
But it's just we think other people should represent Canada more than this fucking weirdo.
Yeah. I mean, who else we got? That's the problem.
Daniel Caesar, Mustafa the Poet.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. In terms of like rappers,
much smaller,
yeah.
you know, and different kind of art genre stuff that we're into, but
for sure.
you know, and definitely not Tory. Yeah, Tory Lanez is the one on Drake's side, but unfortunately he can't put out a diss track just yet. So might delete later the J. Cole album. We've been anticipating a new Cole project for a minute now.
It wasn't this one. I'll say.
He's talked about the fall off and mentioned it in so many songs.
For 5 years now, like since KOD.
This better be a fucking masterpiece album.
Which is part of the reason why this album isn't probably isn't, you know, getting the response that he wants, is that like how is the fall off? How is he going to do the fall off now? You know what I'm saying?
He
like,
spilled his beans.
Yeah, he's like, what's the play? Like, is he going to rework the whole thing? Is he going to come out just with the same aggression he's been coming out with?
It's got to be some crazy concept thing, storyline.
To me, like,
multiple features and crazy, like, you know.
It's got to be crazy.
He's got to like resurrect somebody from the dead, and you know.
Not on some AI shit, by the way.
No, with real magic.
Here's the thing with Cole. My favorite type of Cole is the, you know, conscious storytelling, good hooks, meaningful, vulnerable, introspective kind of J. Cole.
Music that's relatable because it's about normal people, not just, I'm a rapper, I'm famous. And
2014 Forest Hills Drive, fucking For Your Eyes Only as well, to a lesser extent KOD, Born Sinner. And I like the Off-Season, the album from a few years ago. It's good, it's serviceable, it's like a more of a mixtape vibe though, and I appreciate that Cole is on that, can prove that he can rap like this, and he can body these features and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. But I don't necessarily want to hear Cole like this all the time. And for me, this album is kind of just more so Lucy's kind of just like, here's kind of what I had been working on a little bit, kind of more flex bars, more of this kind of grandiose shit. And hopefully he's saving the more meaningful shit for the fall off. I can only hope.
I mean, I did enjoy it because I'm a fan of great raps. And J. Cole is technically good at what he's doing.
It's very well rapped.
Whether or not you like his perspective writing wise, you know, he really was rapping hard on a lot of these tracks.
Yeah. And there's some good, I like some songs on here for sure. There's some good bars as well. Like,
but yeah, the fall off or the off season was pretty good. I still listen to Hunger on Hillside from time to time.
I haven't heard that one in a while actually.
And
a lot of it kind of fell out of my rotation, but not because it's not any good. It's just because like the certain playlists that I've been listening to, he hasn't really been on it.
But I think that was one of the first albums we reviewed where I was like legit excited, like this is a classic album, and it's probably not as good as when I first heard it now, but it still makes me want to hear the next thing.
I remember because at that point I was the bigger Cole fan than you, and you really liked that. You liked that album a whole lot more than me.
Yeah, because I didn't know really what to expect from a Cole album as much.
Whereas I had more preconceived notions of what I wanted it to sound like.
Yeah,
and it didn't quite deliver what I wanted, but also like in retrospect, like for what it is, it's really good. Whereas this one, it just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get into it, but
so you're feeling bullish about it
a little bit. I don't know. It's still serviceable. It's good. It's just like it's definitely not. It's not the fall off. I don't expect it to be the fall off. Maybe I have too high expectations once again for some of my favorites out here. But at the same time, like, it's hard to remove this album from the context of the beef, because a lot of bars on here talking about he's the GOAT, and I'm taking smoke from everyone and all the all this shit, and then to come back and apologize for the Kendrick diss that's on the end of this record is definitely, I don't know, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, maybe.
He should have apologized for the trans fella bar.
That's the one. Come on, man.
That's the song they should have deleted.
Jesus Christ. Well, the song...
Actually, no, it was a great song because
Absol and Daylight trading bars is fucking goated. That shit's crazy. And the Cold verse, aside from that bar, is pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's flowing. He's got some good bars. But that,
the
definitely...
thing is, maybe I'm not as much of a J. Cole. I don't know J. Cole as well or whatever, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. Detract and say, you know what, I'm not about all this, I don't want any violence to happen, like...
Well, because that's,
pulling out of the thing, because really it's not even about you, you just happen to get closer to Drake during the time since then. No,
I agree with you. I think that it's the right move, and the more that this beef progresses, I think it's definitely, okay, it was smart of him to do that. Maybe he knew, like, how deep this might get, and he was like, wait a minute, I'm not trying to really get into this shit like that. I'm going to
He's like the guy in Oppenheimer who tried to stop the nuclear bomb. And,
And, it's J. Cole. What do you expect? He's the fucking humble guy. He's the guy that's fucking, the long dreadlocks. He's riding bikes.
Homeless.
He's guy. What do you expect from J. Cole? This makes sense in terms of his character, which is what he was kind of saying on the Dreamville stage.
I think part of what makes it feel weird is that it feels like him doing the first-person shooter song, doing more features and trying to be more dressing like
it kind of makes that shit seem more disingenuous.
It's like he's trying to get away from who he really is, and then he's realizes, wait a second, I feel bad acting like a prick all the time. But, you're a rapper, you're supposed to be
you're supposed to feel like that. You're supposed to feel like you're the best
kind of
in the
an
world.
asshole because everybody wants to feel like they're the top dog or whatever.
It's just a little bit like he's trying to play both sides almost. But I think this could be honestly good for the fall off, and a lot of people were talking about how this is all a rollout for the shit, because there was I think a few days after he popped up at one of Boss's shows, because Boss is on tour for his last album, and then he forgot the lyrics to their song Tribe. That was a great song, and people are like, oh, this is he's falling off, which is part of the fucking rollout for the album, and I'm like, I don't know if it's that deep.
I think it's
I think he's just kind of unbothered right now.
When I saw the clip, I was like, this is a genuine guy who's feeling conflicted. I don't think this is all the huge act. I don't even think J. Cole's capable of doing that kind of trickery.
And even in the diss, he was like, I don't want to be dissing him right now. He says it. He's showing his cards. I don't know. It really pissed me off right after he apologized and everyone was like, I'm deleting all J. Cole songs off my phone. The whole shit is done. It's all trash now. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
His art is bigger than some beef between Kendrick and Drake anyway. Why are we getting so this is the biggest L ever taken? It's not what we wanted to see as people who just want to see crazy shit every day.
But at least he did he did come with the smoke. But he just kind of he realized that that's not where he wanted to be. And then he would it be worse if he dropped this album without any diss, not acknowledging it? I think that people might think worse of him.
I think the title Might Delete Later gives him that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Why else would he call it that?
Well, because he had 2 or 3 the kind of vlog-ish type of videos he'd been dropping, I think earlier this year, called Might Delete Later, Volume 1, 2, or 3, or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So I think this album was probably going to come regardless, honestly, as kind of a lead up to the fall off, because I don't think the fall off is going to come out this year at this point. It's kind of just you
think it's still cooking?
At this point, I feel like he's got to be he's got to be back in the lab with it. Just because his perception is off right now. I don't think he's scrapping it completely. I think he might just be reworking some shit, or maybe adding some songs, kind of giving more of his perspective, maybe waiting to see what happens with his beef, and then kind of giving his take on what's going on. I think. I
hope it has a Kanye clapback on it. That would be great.
That would be. That's a beef I'm confident he could win. Honestly, the Cole Kanye beef. I'm down for that.
The bars about his Nazi affiliations are going to be great, and
Can't wait.
J. Cole's the perfect guy.
I know. Yeah, it would be good stuff.
Anyway,
we can get into some tracks here and there and kind of just talk about if we liked them.
As far as just sonically, beef aside, and just music, the album was a pretty good listen for me.
It's solid.
There are a lot of great soul beats kind of on the second half of it.
Yeah.
Punchline style rap, kind of bringing it back.
Yeah, nothing too serious, nothing too too heavy. Keeping it light for the most part.
His rhyming patterns that he does are nicely.
It's solid, yeah.
Dense, where there's multiple rhymes and everything.
Yep.
Some great lines, but some that didn't sit right with me, and that we'll get into as well.
I mean, starting off the album on the song "Pricey" with Ari Lennox,
Rick and Morty.
The Rick and Morty bar right off the fucking bat, man.
No, that was good.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point, do we have to just, do we allow the Rick and Morty bars now? Because the whole Rick and Morty is you got to be intellectual. That was 2018. Can we just move on?
Yeah, the fucking Szechuan sauce and all the kids.
Yeah, can we just leave it alone?
McDonald's going crazy. Yeah, that was.
Justin Roiland's a piece of shit. Can we just let's move on?
And Logic had the best.
Yeah, what was it? What was his
Rick and Morty line? No, he showed up on an episode of Rick and Morty.
He did.
Yeah.
There's some decent bars in here. Another kind of one that is eyebrow raising, definitely when it comes when you compare it to another bar later on in this album that we already alluded to. He says here, David Chappelle on his latest Netflix, go ahead, try to cancel my shit. David Chappelle obviously has kind of been in the news the past few years about cracking a lot of jokes at trans people's expense. So relating that to his other trans bar later on in the album, kind of
that's kind of
you can build a case there for J. Cole. It's definitely an L.
It's not like he came out J.K. Rowling style or anything, but with his fan base, I feel like that might be. Yeah,
it's not a good look for sure. Overall, I like this verse song. I think it's pretty good.
I like the thing about he's talking about. I've actually just got to my prime now, when you would think that I would be declining. Has a bar about that.
Yeah, a lot of talk about his come up and where he is now. A lot of online toxic culture bars as well.
But to me, that song is just a warm up for Crocodile Tears, which it was one of my faves.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't deny that, especially when the chorus comes in and then he gets into that second verse.
Yeah,
it's so hard hitting, and he's hitting he's so deep into the flow that you're just on for the ride.
You can't. Yeah, whatever you feel about J. Cole right now, you can't say he's not a good rapper. He goes crazy when he wants to. There's a few bars I liked on this one. And I'm Joaquin Phoenix, walk the line. I'm about to cash in. Benjamin Button, get younger as the hours pass. Should do the freshman cover twice. I'm never gonna be outclassed. It's not a rap.
Yeah, that was good.
Brother, breathe in that could outlast. The fall off is like Hove dropping reasonable doubt last. That whole stanza is hard.
And somebody was saying, because he says he's Joaquin. He says Joaquin, and then he says because I'm keen on the numbers, so I count fast.
Yeah. No, there's some inner rhymes here for sure. He does have a bar here that could be maybe seen as a future diss. He says they sound faded, they downgraded, they Pluto.
Yeah.
It could also just be a bar about, Pluto got downgraded from planet to a fucking, what was it, a star or whatever? What did it switch to?
A lesser planet.
Yeah, lesser. I don't know why they're discriminating against planets out here. Let NASA do their thing. And then on this song, he also says, yes, sir, it's me, not two, not three, the uno, G-O-A-T, I need my fee, fuck kudos. Should he, and that's the thing, a lot of people after this is like, J. Cole immediately has the bronze now. Can he ever rap about him being number one now that he's backed out of this beef? What do you think about that?
He can still be number one in the perception of certain people, but never the mainstream or the...
In terms of the cultural zeitgeist, yes. Yeah. I don't know if there's ever going to be him backing out of the beef definitely is.
But the thing is, the whole fight is over. How do you decide who's number one? Is it based on the Billboard charts, or is it about your legacy as a songwriter and as a thing? And
beef shouldn't really impact your ability to be number one either, really. At the end of the day, I mean, this is all exciting and it's really interesting and stuff, and excited to see where this goes. But
because, in my opinion,
it'll pass.
In my opinion, Drake is the number one for a period of music that was kind of uninspired. And, he will be known for Kiki, Do You Love Me?
Yeah.
Are You Riding?
You can't fuck with him numbers wise and all that kind of shit. But it's that's not how we really consider.
That's not how the world
That's
decides.
how we judge it, and generally, that's not really how.
And we all know the numbers are fake anyway. So,
yeah.
But that being said, still. J. Cole's not everyone's cup of tea.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think it'll kind of stay like that.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Elmer Fudd diss?
I thought that song was hard. I don't know. It was cool.
No, it was kind of cool, but I didn't really like the little like anime sample thing that they were.
Yeah, he did. It was like
crying.
it was from like a YouTube. It was like a parody of like the Looney Tunes shit or something. Like it was, yeah, it was some online shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really get it. Whatever, but he's flowing.
But there's a kind of interesting idea of like people were saying it's like he's hunting rabbits because like the rabbit is like Kendrick's fucking.
It was the year of the rabbit when he was born. Or
yeah,
some shit. Yeah, I
like
saw that on Genius.
like,
I'm like, there's no fucking way, man. That's the thing. I think this whole album was done before all this shit because on his Might Delete Later vlogs, it was Crocodile Tears and it was 3001 that were like teased already. Like half the songs were like teased. So we know for a fact those ones were done before the beef. So I'm pretty sure that most of this shit was done beforehand. Right. He added the last song on just as a thing.
Yeah, because can you really picture J. Cole in the cooking up and he's like, oh, it says right here he was born in the year of the rabbit.
Yeah, no, I don't think no.
Now
he's no. I don't think he's.
Find me the Looney Tunes clip right now, Metro.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that serious with him. Yeah, Hunting Rabbits is a good one. I like the Ready 24 one with Cameron as well. Honestly,
there's a kind of interesting
beat's great on that one.
Line that he has about like. He's so afraid of impregnating some girl accidentally.
Yeah.
And he talks about it multiple times on this album.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, and I make her eat the Plan B and I watch it." And I'm like, "J. Cole, like, aren't you supposed to be like a good guy?" Like,
I think he's like married with like kids now and shit. Like, I don't know if he's married, but he has kids with this one woman.
Shouldn't he be married and have kids?
I don't know. Someone had a tweet of like J. Cole's like the #1 rapper in terms of rapping about him really wanting to fuck other bitches, but not. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's constantly always talking about like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that though.
He say that on his verse on the
new Future Metro
thing
Boomin.
about how he's a conscious rapper that'll fuck your chick or whatever.
Yeah, but then he's also talking about like how he's at the club with Future and he's getting lap dances, but he can't. He's getting real tempted. He's tempted right now, but he's not gonna do it.
Oh man.
Like, okay, good for you, but also like, man, should you be saying this?
It's just he has such a confusing persona, is what we're saying, really.
It's tough to really pin him down.
Hide Yo Bitch is the next track.
Did we ever expect a Central C J. Cole collab? That wasn't on my fucking bingo card, man.
Honestly, this song is an A for effort, but I don't really like it that much.
It's okay. It sounds more like a Boss song to me. Like this kind of dance hall-y kind of groove to it. Like this one and Fever. And even to a lesser extent Stealth Mode later on with Baus as well. Like it sounds like these are kind of leftovers from his last album, because his last album had like sounds that were like similar to this stylistically. J. Cole has the bar on here: A B C D E F G H I J K M N O P. That's little me in the classroom asking what's L,
because he never took any L's. Yeah. And
he proceeded to take one 2 days later.
That bar itself is an L.
I think that bar, Central C is I don't know. Yeah.
Speaking of dance hall, I mean, by the like Central C's verse was I kind of liked this, but
it was alright.
The next track is like a summer jam thing.
Yeah, kind of just a vibe. Not really saying anything deep. Not really. Doesn't sound like a J. Cole song to me, but
it doesn't really move the needle.
Not what I really want to hear from him, honestly. Sticks and Stones was dope on the Alchemist beat.
Yeah.
He's flowing on this shit, but he also again talks about how he's not scared to go one-on-one with anyone. Here we are.
On that same song, though, he has a lyric about like a girl saying, "Oh, are you poor or just bad at dressing?"
Yeah.
So it's like he's it's hard to take him that serious when he's saying, "I want smoke with everybody."
But he's also talking about how like he's more so in touch with reality than some of his other contemporary rappers, like which kind of it's proven by the apology to an extent. You can argue.
But he also brags about skeeting on $10,000 sheets or something, or just $1,000 sheets.
Yeah, 10,000's a little much. $1,000 sheets, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's like some
$10,000 sheets. That's Drake with some Drake shit.
Drake only gets the finest linens from Morocco. Drake hires a guy to go and steal French Montana's sheets.
Oh man, come on, leave Frenchie alone.
And he sits there.
Fucking, I bet you wherever Drake is right now, he's in a swirly chair with a fucking cat, and he's fucking petting that shit, man. The big screen is just on his Kendrick's Twitter page live, just fucking watching this shit.
Sending posts to DJ Academics.
And sending texts to underage women.
Yes. Next track is kind of the lyrical.
Yeah, I mean, you can highlight a lot of good ones here from Soul and Daylight for sure. Yeah, I'm just happy to hear like Absol rapping and getting on these bigger placements and really like he was on the last Sir album, he was on the Schoolboy Q album. Like, yeah, I'm hyped for Absol. And Daylight is this battle rapper who's been big for a while, and he just signed a TDE, and he's like trying to drop like actual like proper albums and shit now. So
awesome.
We'll look out for him too in the future.
Yeah, I didn't really know who that was, but he definitely.
Yeah, I only knew him as that battle rapper, but and people were saying like, oh, it's interesting that like J. Cole got these 2 TDE guys on the album. But I'm like, man, this again goes to show that I think all these tracks were done before any of this shit, and how there's not actually a beef between Cole and Kendrick. It was never really like that. People were just saying that because Kendrick referenced first person shooter, whereas Kendrick and Drake have been sending subliminals to each other for fucking a decade. Like,
yeah, I mean, I just saw the most recent like Civil War type picture, and it has J. Cole's thing like just X'd out. He's like one of the characters who died in the
crosshairs.
He just got caught in the middle, and Absol had a good lyric about you're meek still, I inherit the earth like 3 wise men pulled up to cherish my birth.
Yeah, fire. Yeah, Absol's one of them ones.
Like, let's really go through this lyric.
Yeah, do we want to? Okay, let's do it.
Is you a demon, or is that demeanor for the gram? Tell us. They plead the 5th. I'm seeing hints of a trans fella. In cancel culture's vicinity, he's no killer, trust me. Beneath his chosen identity, he's still a pussy, period. I see what he was going for, and the thing where he says, like, okay, it's cancel culture, like, I'm making a thing, but it was too long of a walk for a payoff that was just kind of like...
And it's a little tone deaf.
We all knew where you're going with this anyway.
It's a little tone deaf, and it's a little bit, like unnecessary. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like...
I guess, also when you think Mr. Morale in the song Auntie Diaries. Mm-hmm. So, like, it wasn't just a way out of nowhere, like, oh, you're trans! Like, just out of nowhere, just accusing somebody.
Yeah. So do you think this bar could be like in relation to like a Kendrick kind of thing then? Like, are you saying there's dots to connect there potentially?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's dissing Kendrick, and he's talking about that Kendrick is fake. He's not really a killer, and he chose this identity, but that's not really him.
Right.
But you would respond to that by saying you're also just a rapper and not. It's
yeah. No, I think
everyone's trying to act gangster on this. And,
exactly.
You have to kind of realize it's just par for the course, and nobody. If you were actually a gangster, you wouldn't be rapping. You would be out there doing crimes. And stuff.
Yeah, it's just I mean, you can argue it has to do with the beef, or you can say that it's actually like clever or whatever. Like sure, but it's just don't love it.
Yeah. Moving on, 3001 was kind of a different idea of a track.
Yeah. I thought that was hard.
It was kind of cool, like experimental a bit,
Yeah. A little different for Cole, but he's still kind of on his braggadocious shit.
But like in the chorus is like him rapping over this like distorted kind of vocal thing, which you wouldn't expect from Cole.
Yeah, it has like a vocal filter on his voice. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, he definitely switches up the flow and tries different things on every track in this album, and you have to appreciate that.
Yeah.
As far as his rapping skill goes,
for sure, and that's definitely true on the last track here, or I guess the new last track, Trey the Truth in Ibiza. I think he's really spitting on here. This is kind of like the more classic Cole, what you would think of, just kind of introspective, rapping hard,
reflecting on his career and stuff.
Talking about his work ethic, rise to the top, music industry and all its woes. But at the end of this track too, he kind of raps about how like he just wants to be himself. The good, the bad, the ugly, the strong, the weak. He just wants to be like him, wants to be true to himself, which is like, you know what, like, without the 7-minute diss and this being the new outro to the album and listen to the album, like, within the context of what's going on, it's like, you know what, that's kind of a good way to end it, of just be like, you know what, I'm just me, man, like, whatever, bro, like, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, fair enough.
But the way we experienced it is by hearing the next track, 7-minute drill, where that's the one he deleted. He didn't want it to be out there any longer.
Yeah, and we'll get into it. Do we want to go over some of the bars here?
Yeah,
some of the stanzas, if you will.
He does shows, but he fell off like The Simpsons. That was a pretty good lyric. Even though I disagree about him falling
that's
off.
the thing, because, like, yeah, you can, like... I don't think this is that bad of a diss track, really. Like, he's trying, and there's some good bars, like, you know what, yeah, that's pretty good, right? But it's just that... It's just not that factual when you consider he's talking about how he missed with To Pimp a Butterfly, you know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah, in what world did that album put people to sleep?
Yeah.
It was... widely considered great.
There were some people that didn't fuck with it, and some people like say like, you know, they prefer Damn, they prefer the more like actual like more so hip hop shit. But yeah, I don't. That's not the move. Attacking Kendrick's discography is not the move. And Drake, even Drake knows that. He didn't really go after it either, right? Like
the thing is that the thing that it brings up is the old discourse that has been run through before about how Kendrick is only white people like consider him to be great.
Yeah.
Something that I've never really thought was true.
Yeah, exactly.
It is true that like Kendrick garnered more attention from like Obama said his song like put a song on this playlist and he won the Pulitzer Prize for that album, like so. Sort of white dominated institutions.
He won some Grammys.
Awarded him for it or whatever, but that doesn't really take anything away from
discredit the art at all. Yeah.
No. It's just about like not liking the people who are into the art, and I understand that. There's the famous Reddit post of the white guy who's like, "Oh man, I met a real black guy," and it was like, "Dude, are you like Kendrick Lamar?" Or,
I remember that one. Yeah.
So there definitely are those cringy teens,
for sure,
in the rap fan base in America for sure. But that doesn't really do anything to knock Kendrick off of his square, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter. It's not. You're not criticizing the music. Even. Yeah. You're saying the society is bad for not recognizing something else and awarding this.
Yeah,
and,
no.
You know.
Yeah, that's not the move. I don't think for Cole. Yeah, the rest. In terms of specifically what he says here, your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put brothers to sleep, but they gassed it. So he was saying Mr. Morale was bad, which I mean that was more of a discourse around people not really fucking with Mr. Morale. It's a bit more experimental and a bit like not really what you might expect from Kendrick.
I still think it's a great album.
We're both still champions of that album for sure.
It definitely wasn't as popular, and that's one thing that you can, if you're gonna diss him, you can mention
for sure. Which is what Drake did mention in his diss as well. Your third shit was massive. That was your prime. I was trailing right behind it. Now I just hit mine. Now I'm front of the line with a comfortable lead. How ironic. Soon as I got it, now he wants something with me. Well, he caught me at the perfect time, jumping in the sea. Boy, I got here off of bars, not controversy. Didn't really quite understand. Did Kendrick come off of controversy? I guess maybe the Grammy thing. Macklemore winning the Grammy. I don't know if that's controversy.
He popped off from "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe."
Yeah,
and like that era.
Yeah, I don't know if he popped off for controversy, but I don't know. He could just be saying shit,
Maybe there was,
maybe something behind the scenes. Even I don't know.
I like when the second half of it he's rapping on a different beat.
Yeah, I like that half a lot for sure.
They do like the old school bomb sound effect.
Yeah. I like his bars here. Cool World, your instructor for Pilates class. Get a brother stretch if I feel the disrespect. Your arms might be too short to box with a god who live his life with the pressures, without the pressures of a constant facade. I'm like, that's like he's talking about how Kendrick is short. Yeah, tiny. He's a fucking J. Cole's a big dude. Like, okay, that's fair.
More on that later.
Yes.
But yeah, wrapping it up. That happened, and then 2 days later, he apologized and took it back.
Said it was some of the most whack, corny shit he's ever done.
Yeah, he was losing sleep over it.
Losing sleep, man. Yeah, it's a little...
Never admit... First rule of beef, never admit to losing sleep over anything.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, the beef moved on from him to more people piling on Drake. And there's a whole laundry list here. The Weeknd, A$AP Rocky, Nav, obviously Metro Boomin.
I didn't see the Nav one. What did Nav say?
I don't really remember. I just think Nav...
But he's just... doesn't fuck with Drake. I think there might have been something... Maybe
Nav was on stage. Nav was on stage on Coachella with Metro Boomin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And... I don't know, they were probably engaging in some diss behavior.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but mainly, I mean, J. Cole apologized. Let's wrap J. Cole's thing there. That's, you know, he did what he did. We kind of already gave our thoughts on what we think about that move earlier on. And then Future Metro Boomin dropped We Still Don't Trust You with the J. Cole feature. So it's kind of just shows that, like, okay, you know what? They piece it up. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Kind of just goes to show that, like, it's not that deep from J. Cole. And I like that song a lot, and his verse is great. I think it's hard. He says, even on the song, he says, yeah, my energy was never on the toughest guy shit. I was just a conscious rapper that would fuck a dude's bitch, which is what you said earlier as well. Future had some bars for Drake here as well. Nothing too substantial, but Rocky for sure came in swinging. Yeah.
I didn't even know Rocky hated Drake, but it's definitely over the Rihanna thing, right?
100%, because Drake took shots off on For All the Dogs about Rihanna, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We had talked about that. I can't remember which song. Was it, like, Flight? Something about...
Drake bitterly puts lines out about girls that he didn't end up with, whether it be Serena Williams or Rihanna.
I think, he's insecure about that kind of shit.
That's one of his more pathetic qualities.
Yeah.
And that's why, a lot of people are saying, you know, standing up for Drake on that is kind of a red flag because it shows you don't really take, you know, people dissing women seriously, or don't think that that's, like, kind of shitty behavior.
Yeah, or just immature, you know. A$AP came with some smoke. He said, call up Pluto Metro, should have put me on the first one, alluding to, because that album was more so kind of coming for Drake, especially with the Kendrick verse. Should have put me on the first one. They swear that they're bitch the baddest, I just bagged the worst one. They and they feelings, Drake song, over woman, what are you, hurt or something? I smashed before you birth, son. Flocko hit it first, son. Still don't trust you, it's always us, never them. Heard you dropped your latest shit, funny how it just came and went. I think people were implying that means that Rocky smashed Drake's baby mom first, which there's rumors to that, apparently. I get that's what Twitter's saying. That's not backed up. I'm just saying it. I'm just throwing it out there that's a rumor. Don't know. A lot of this stuff is going to be rumors as well from a lot of what people are saying.
All the rappers in the world are passing around
the same
20 women.
Yeah, it's nasty work.
It's not good.
No. But shout out Rocky. That verse was hard.
The Weeknd was my favorite.
He came in with some too. Yeah.
And he dissed him on a like love
R&B song. Yeah, that's
which
hard.
Is like that, and the song like legit slaps too.
Yeah,
like,
and the album is a pretty. I fuck with the album too. The overall.
Yeah, me too.
We won't get into it today though.
It's a bit of a different direction for Future.
Maybe a bit of maybe a bit long too. But
he's doing more kind of 80s. Yeah, The Weeknd definitely like with his
has some influence in there for sure.
But I liked his parts.
Do you want to read out what
they could never diss my brothers, baby?
Yeah, good.
When they got leaks in their operation.
That's a key bar.
Going back to the Drake thing and the info of the kid getting out.
And also, he's saying that they have leaks in their operation, and then Drake's diss song Push-Ups leaked, quote unquote. Some people are saying that was a strategic leak.
I thought it was a fake out leak.
And we'll get into we're just doing the timeline. We're going to get into all of our thoughts when we talk with Deego later on.
He thanks God he never signed his life away. Didn't end up with OVO. Yeah. And then he's making fun of Baka Not Nice.
Making TikToks, dances and shit. Which I think we saw Baka Not Nice.
When we saw 2 Chainz. And he brought Drake and Baka out.
Not Nice, yeah. That's right.
And now he's doing TikToks.
I mean, so are we. Hey, we're pretty hard, right, guys?
Yeah. That's the thing is like the OVO team. Like it seems like it's a bunch of people who don't really necessarily like Drake. They just materially benefit from being in his
think a lot of them have said too that like they sign like Roy Woods or whatever. Like a lot of these guys sign with Drake and then don't pop off at all, or they get used as ghostwriters, so they don't get credit. They don't get their fucking pay. They don't.
Quentin Millers of the world.
Yeah, apparently it's not. It's kind of like how Eminem ran his shit for a while there.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best at that, but
yeah. Then after that, the Drake leak, Push-Ups comes out.
And there's a whole discourse about whether it was AI or not, which plays into his next diss that he drops only a few days later, called Made Freestyle.
where Drake gets Taylor Swift involved in the beef.
He does.
Saying that he's scared to drop because Taylor just put out her album.
Yeah, we'll deal with Push-Ups first, because that dropped first. And it officially came to streaming on Friday, I believe, and we're recording this on Sunday the 21st, by the way. So if Kendrick drops between now, I'm telling you.
Wait for the next one.
Just telling you. Yeah.
We'll give you all the
this
right
is when
opinions.
we recorded it. It should be out, hopefully in a week. Yeah, so what do you think about the Push-Up song overall?
It was a valiant effort. I think he did rap pretty well on it.
Mm-hmm.
He made some points, but he mostly just makes fun of him for being short.
Well, it gets deeper for sure.
There are some lines for sure.
I think this is actually like a pretty good diss from Drake. Like, and that's the thing. Drake has been battle tested. Duppy Freestyle wasn't bad either. Like, Back to Back is a good song. Like, he's capable of making good songs and disses like at the same time. I think this is pretty solid. And in terms of disses goes, like, he manages to kind of come at how he has smoke for like pretty much everyone involved in the beef, aside from maybe Rocky. But he has bars for Future. He has bars for Rick Ross. He has bars for The Weeknd. Like, he's like, it's.
Oh, we forgot to even mention
solid.
that Rick Ross threw his hat into the ring. We'll talk about that.
Well, because that Rick Ross drops right after Push-Ups came out.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go through Push-Ups.
But this was
talk
after
about some of our bars, and then we'll talk about Rick Ross.
After the Push-Ups leak, before the official.
That's true. Yeah.
Release, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So Drake starts off dissing Future. I can never be nobody #1 fan, which is what Future says. One of the first things he says on his last album. Your first #1, I had to put in your hand. You can't, and then it goes from there.
Not really true. I guess Life is Good is his.
I would think so, or maybe Jumpman, like one of those What a Time to Be Alive songs,
okay.
potentially. I don't doubt that. Drake has given a lot of people their #1 songs. Like, that's he has that influence over the game. Like, whether you like it or not, that's just kind of true.
Yeah,
because he has bars in here about he has Rick Ross bars here about how he gave a bunch of Ross's most charted songs.
Yeah, I know.
Were Drake songs. So that's something you can't really discredit, but at the same time, it's not that charts aren't everything, man. Like, that's the thing.
And it's also not as if Drake didn't also get helped by having a bunch of songs with Rihanna early on in his career.
For sure.
Biting off of other people as well.
And having writers help him with this shit too. Like,
looking at
because he even says here, "I'm the hitmaker y'all depend on. Backstage in my city, it was friend zone. We won't ever take no chains off of us. How the fuck you big stepping with size 7 men's on?" Direct shot at Kendrick for sure.
Short Kings out there, get in the comments below. And,
all right,
sound off.
I'm willing to guess you're probably similar. You're like 12, right?
Yeah, 12 and a half.
Okay. What do you think I am?
It's actually saying 12 and a half sounds so pathetic. Like,
why?
Because it's like when a little kid says that they're 7.5 years old.
Oh, yeah.
So that they're not. Oh, I'm actually gonna be 8 really soon.
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm like 11 and a half, 12, depending on the brand, really. Like,
really,
12's in Nikes, 11 and a half's in some other shit.
Is this just a stealth way of talking about our dicks?
I mean, that worked for us last time. the dick conversations got us 2K views.
This is bigger than dick pics at this point.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, everyone trying to own A$AP Rocky or whoever by showing an old clip of them saying, "Oh, Drake's great. Like, Drake helped me out."
Right.
Like, that doesn't mean anything because
of course you're gonna say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of the times people who used to be friends have a falling out because they turned out to be a complete psychopath.
Rick Ross and J. Cole and Rick Ross and Drake, and then Drake and Future have been tight this whole time until recently. Like,
and this whole thing of like, it's 20v1 because everyone's so jealous of Drake. It's like, no, Drake is that much of an asshole that he pissed 20 people off by personally not being being a dickhead. And like, Rick Ross was mad at him because he sent a cease and desist letter to French Montana.
Yeah.
And French Montana helped Drake come up early in the days as well. Like, there are a lot of people Drake should owe that, like Lil Wayne, and you know that he once he didn't need them anymore, he moved on, and
and that's the thing about
that's who he is. That's the kind of guy who he is. That's why so many people dislike him, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there might be deeper reasons why he gets disrespect in the game. We'll get into, but
and some of it, definitely is based on just them not liking his style, or the fact that he's not gangsta, or that he's Canadian, or what have you, or
not
that
really
he's
about it.
Emotional kind of guy.
Yeah.
But people can get over that.
Yeah.
And
the thing about like
The Weeknd is all of those things, and people love him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's not a dickhead in person, I don't think.
The thing about Drake and how like he's had all this help from like Birdman and like his old contracts and shit. That's the thing where when Drake is coming at Kendrick a lot on this record is talking about how his splits are split up, how he has to
which I didn't like the splits line. I thought it's corny.
He has to stop and drop and give top 50% or whatever, and then drop and give me 50, drop and give me 50, because Drake was in a shitty contract with fucking Birdman and Young Money, Cash Money as well. Like that's just kind of what happens in hip hop. Unfortunately, is that people sign shit deals in order to fucking make it. And that's not a diss on Kendrick, really. That's a fucking diss on fucking
everybody,
the market, on the whole industry. Like,
I mean,
everyone signed terrible fucking contracts for the most part. Like,
it is definitely the type of info that you put out there to embarrass somebody, to say, "Oh, half of your money's going to some fucking guy." And I think it's a decent diss. For
in terms of dissing, part. It's like that's the thing. I don't think Drake. I think it's clear that this isn't all Drake has on Kendrick. He's alluding to that he has more. We'll see if that's actually true. But this isn't like the nuclear fucking, he fucking bodied Kendrick, it's fucking over. Like, no. It's a good response. It's a good response. It's a good fucking, it's a good punch. We'll see what fucking happens, right? But the other thing about the whole fucking drop and give me 50 shit is that, did you hear about this whole fucking, this thing? It was the Joe Budden podcast first started talking about it, about how, one of the big ups at Apple wanted to start this fucking new kind of like he likened it to like an Avengers-esque type of like super group of people and of artists, kind of like a faux label kind of thing. He's alluded to that. This guy who runs Apple or had affiliations with Apple, and then Drake is also really tight with Apple and got like $400 million or something, like signed a crazy fucking deal or whatever the fuck. And the dude specifically said, if I were to get someone for this group, it would be a Drake type figure. And Joe Budden podcast was speculating that like because of this, Drake and a few other like big ups in the industry are making money from these other rappers that are signed to this certain group.
This is like some conspiracy shit.
It's fucking deep, man. Let me see if I can.
Okay, so now certain lyrics make sense now. Where he's on the other track, he's talking about you heard it on Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Must be true.
I can't remember the name of like the label or whatever the fuck it's called, but like a lot of these artists some of the artists that are signed under it are like Rick Ross is signed under it. Sexy Red, someone that he's been hanging out with a lot and fucking like bigging up, and like why is Sexy Red and Drake hanging out? Maybe it's because that he's making money off of her by fucking bigging her up and getting her on songs and hanging out with her and shit. And like I think Future might be it's signed with this shit too, where it's like that's maybe more the reason why Rick Ross and Future aren't fucking with Drake now, is because Drake is literally taking money out of their fucking hands.
He's trying to be the Tony Stark of the fucking.
He's fucking. It's the theory. Like it's not like who fucking knows really, but like it's something to consider for sure that Drake could potentially be fucking like drop and give me 50. He doesn't say drop and give top 50. He says drop and give me 50. And he has bars about like your merch and your show money, that's mine or some shit. Like, and people had like people pulled up receipts of like past bars being like talking about specifically about like being in the splits for some of these fucking rappers' money. Like,
if this is true, it's another reason to hate Drake.
That's the thing.
That's evil.
That's the thing.
That's anti.
I think that's probably the more likely reason why people don't fuck with Drake. I don't think that necessarily Rick Ross would stop fucking with Drake because he's kind of an asshole. Because I'm sure Rick Ross is also kind of an asshole.
That's the thing. I hate Rick Ross.
Yeah, like I don't think it's that simple. I'm sure the Future thing has to do with some girl. I think that's I think more clear. But I think that the bigger issue might be something more diabolical like that, and something fucking deeper behind the scenes. Maybe Kendrick will say something about, or maybe someone else will say something about. Like, maybe it'll come to light.
It kind of tracks for the top 0.01% of artists who are literally billionaires
Yeah.
to try to corner the market and make even more money off of everybody else who's not getting
Ice
as much
Spice,
money.
I think, is involved with this shit too, where they're trying to fucking gain streams off her and shit. Like, this 4BAT, he had a song with this 4BATs guy out of nowhere, this random fucking guy, like, because they know, we've seen it happen. We've seen Drake fucking, who was the one fucking guy?
I Love McConan.
I Love McConan is one. You can name him forever.
Block Boy JB.
Block Boy JB was the one. Little baby, like, gives these kind of unknown rappers this spotlight, and people are like, oh, this is...
That's a huge conspiracy,
dude.
I
don't know, man.
I need to look into this before I can even...
Yeah, I watched like a 20-minute thing on the Joe Budden podcast. It was enlightening.
It tracks with my perception of who Drake is as a person, though, so that's where I fall on this whole issue.
A few more things I want to get into a little bit on the Drake...
the thing about... SZA got you wiped down.
Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down. You can make the argument for Travis being in the top 3.
No way. When you think about his rapping like ability,
no, for sure. But in terms of influence, like you can maybe put him over J. Cole if you want to. Like influence numbers wise, like maybe. I could see the argument.
Probably, I could see that argument actually. That he's better than J. Cole at least, but I wouldn't say that about Kendrick at all.
No, for sure. 21 Savage.
No way.
He's a little bit too one note to be a top 3 for me. SZA for sure, but like it's. Comparing apples to oranges, it's R&B, it's different.
I mean, she can rap too, though, but yeah, she's...
it's
weird to bring her into it.
Yeah.
Another girl you dated and didn't end up with, Drake.
Yeah, I mean, but they seem to be like kind of tight, though.
Funny how that works.
I don't know, they seem to be tight. No,
but it just seems like Drake's whole career is motivated by that. He never ended up with any of the bad chicks he wanted, and that's why he has to...
Right. I do kind of like the bars about how Maroon 5 needs a verse. You better make it witty. Now we need a verse for the Swifties. Like, it kind of is coming at like Kendrick's like kind of gangster character, whereas like Drake obviously is a pop.
Now we got bad blood. All right.
Yeah, Drake is obviously a pop rapper. Like you can't really come at him for collabing with some of these people, but like it's kind of like coming at Drake for that is like okay, that's not that I respect that. That's a fine diss, you know.
It's hypocritical coming from Drake, in my opinion.
A little bit, but Drake doesn't... I mean, Drake does claim the gangster shit, too, though. But Kendrick is, like, all about that kind of, like, I'm the rapper shit, and then he gets on these pop songs. Like, I understand where Drake's coming from that. I think it's a decent diss.
I think, like, it's good for rappers to try to... Rappers on Kendrick's level to inject themselves into top 40 radio.
That was around the damn era where he was, like, really... That was when he was at his biggest. Like, so that makes sense why he would do stuff like that.
I mean, Future did a song with Maroon 5, too.
That's true. I like the bar as well. What's a prince to a king? He a son. Because Kendrick had the bar about how the Mike Jack and Prince bar. Kendrick alluding himself to Prince. So Drake is saying that, like, you're my son type shit.
Yeah.
That's a good bar. He says, I get more love in the city that you from. Not true. He got booed off stage in fucking California a few years ago at fucking Camp Flog Gnaw. How do you get more love in where you're from? Like that's not true. Got some bars here about diss bars about The Weeknd here as well. We don't have to get too into that shit.
The thing about he mentions Kendrick's wife by name, Whitney.
I'd be with some bodyguards like Whitney. There was rumors. Rumors. Who knows? But of Kendrick's wife, or not about wife, but partner Whitney. Cheating on him with his bodyguard, which if that's the case, that's cold as fuck. That's pretty evil. But Kendrick has admitted to him being also unfaithful, so I don't think that's really going to get him like people are saying it is. But it's pretty cold for Drake to say that.
Well, that's always like people always say like if you say the name of my kid or my wife, that this is different now. I'm gonna fucking kill you, you know, and. It's kind of bullshit.
I don't know. That's what.
But people say, "Oh, it's off limit. You're off limits."
Well, he mentioned Pusha T's wife as well, and that's kind of probably what got pushed to really fucking go after him like he did. We'll see if that makes Kendrick more fucking fueled up to go by mentioning his wife. We'll see.
If anything is gonna do it, but we'll see.
Some bars for Rick Ross there as well. Drake says, "I don't care what Cole thinks. That dot shit was weak as fuck. Champagne tripping. He's not fucking easing up."
He's kind of like. By the way, J. Cole, I don't know what that's all about.
He was kind of like, I'm not claiming that shit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that came and it was fucking huge. It made waves, and immediately, within the same day, Rick Ross came out with his song, and he's got some bars for Drake for sure.
Let's hear him.
He talks about they leaking their records when they speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me. White boy, I see you. The white boy shit is crazy. Like, just coming at Drake for being mixed race is so nuts, man. Like, Rick Ross is savage, man.
Yeah, no comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, bringing race into it is kind of fucky, but at the same time, like, man, it's crazy. Like, it's nutty.
The thing about the nose job, I like that because it's like, this is getting messy now.
Yeah,
like
it's getting personal. I'm talking about how he got his fucking abs, like
his fake abs.
His fake abs.
That's why you wear that's funny shit on stage. Which, by the way, I am sick of those fake muscles that he's wearing on stage.
Yeah, it's a little strange. But he's off tour now. We don't have to see it.
Like, you know, it's like back when, you know, your little brother has the fucking Superman costume for Halloween. Yeah. Like,
facts.
Why are you wearing that on stage? It's weird. But, you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like, Kanye also has fake abs. And the
Ross
whole BBL Drizzy thing was, he tried to...
That's funny.
But he's kind of seems like an old person online because it's like...
He is almost 50 years old. Like, you know, that's what Drake
most
said.
People are kind of just watching it but kind of clowning him because he's like...
Well, the whole Drake and Rick Ross beef got played out real quick when they were just taking shots on each other through their Instagram stories, comparing houses and shit. I'm like, man, what? Like,
yeah, I saw the comments.
You lost me, man. You lost
I'm broke, so I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, yeah, man. Like, come on. Yeah, I kind of lost track of that one pretty quick. I think Rick Ross did mention Millie Bobby Brown in one of his stories, though, which is kind of crazy.
Well, now Rick Ross is like, I'm selling my house to own Drake somehow. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know how that works fiscally, but...
Is that a smart decision? I don't know, but... The Drake thing, or the Rick Ross thing kind of was like, alright, so there's some, like, goofy guys on this side of the beef as well. And, like, everybody knows Rick Ross was never a gangster. He worked at a Walmart.
And he was a
security guard or something.
He was God, what is it?
Regional manager.
God, what is it when you're, like, a patrol officer or something like that? Or, like, some officer.
So it's... You know, kind of weird hearing that from him.
Yeah.
But...
And then there was a rumor there was a Kendrick... Did you catch that? There was like a Kendrick AI thing.
Oh, yeah. And then somebody was like, I actually made this.
Yeah,
check out how I did it. They're like, shut up, man. We're trying to see the real...
Yeah, come on. The whole AI shit has really muddied this beef a little bit to an extent that I didn't really fuck with. There was rumors, again, of Kendrick's 95 being ghostwritten. But that was debunked by the person who made, like, the reference track. It was maybe a few bars or whatever, but it wasn't really like that at all.
Wow.
And then there was leaks of Lil Yachty doing the entire Jumbotron Shit Poppin' song for Drake line for line, which we kind of theorized that when we talked about that album as, like, this is a Lil Yachty song.
Yeah, no, it was.
And apparently this new upcoming rapper, Cash Cobain, did the entire Calling For You track off of Fear All the Dogs as well. Maybe not the entire thing, but, like, part of it. I didn't actually hear that one.
Wow.
But it just kind of goes to show Drake, the ghostwriting shit. Then Drake officially drops the Push Up song, and then later that day, he drops the Tailor-Made Freestyle with AI, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg saying, Kendrick, where are you, Kendrick? Where are you? When it's been, 4 days?
Yeah.
Drake took a month to respond to like that. I don't know. People are up in arms. People are saying it's fire. People are saying it's corny.
I clicked on it, and I said, what devil... business is this bringing back Tupac to AI diss Kendrick?
Yeah, it's...
I kind of heard it and I was like, this is kind of similar to or it's kind of a reference to when Kendrick had Tupac on Mortal Man,
right?
And that was just a clip that he spliced in of a real conversation.
That's the thing, because people were like, you're hypocritical because Kendrick used, like, the deep fake AI shit on his The Heart Part 5 song where he put the faces of Nipsey Hussle on his face or whatever, right? And then he used the whole Tupac interview at the end of To Pimp a Butterfly. But the main difference is that for To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick got the permission of Tupac's mother to do that. So it's like, or like someone in Tupac's family to do that. So it's like, okay, I guarantee you, Drake did not get the permission to do that.
No.
From anyone affiliated with Tupac, including Snoop Dogg.
And it doesn't even really sound like Tupac the way he rapped or anything.
No, at all. It sounds like Drake it sounds like a Drake flow. He's mentioned... Hearing Tupac say Joe Budden podcast, I'm out.
Dude, 2024 is washed. Let's go back.
Man, how did we get here?
The train will be leaving at 7:50
Departing to
p.m.
Meat Ride Station. Any moment now.
Choo choo! All aboard!
Yeah, I think we're good.
All aboard the meat train.
I got my express pass today. Apologies if this sounds any different. We're using a different audio box. The other one's kind of giving us a little bit of some issues. We took a little break, but we're about to call up our good friend Deego, friend of the podcast. Check out his music on SoundCloud, YouTube, all that good stuff. And we're gonna get deeper into this. We went maybe a little long the first time around, but we gave us.
We'll cut that whole thing.
No, you know our thoughts now, at least. So now we're gonna get his thoughts, and we're gonna do a little bit. We'll talk and we'll discuss.
We're about to hear
and we'll argue.
a real life Drake fan,
and I think one of us is gonna cry. I have my money on who, but yeah, it's you. Yeah. Oh, Deego, it's Drake. Pretend you're Drake. Pretend you're Drake.
Put you on my album.
Oh, look who it is.
Oh my God, Deego.
Turn up, turn up, turn up. Where's the air horns? Where's the air horns?
Go like this.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How we doing today, boy?
We're doing good. Sorry to get you on a little later than we thought. We went a little long. We got a little bit too into it. We wanted to save a lot of the conversation for you, because we want to get your takes on it. For those who don't know, me and Alex are a little bit of some Kendrick stannies out here, and our boy Deego.
I'm a Kanye stan first and foremost.
That's true.
I'll take whoever side he jumps on. All right.
Oh my God, we want your thoughts on everything, bud. So, first things first. What do you think of J. Cole in this whole situation?
J. Cole, man.
Jermaine
Cole. Yes. Jermaine should have stuck to the streets of Fayetteville. He should have continued to stay underground. I think through this whole process, what I learned about my favorite artists, such as because let's be honest, I love Kendrick. I do love Kendrick.
That's what we're saying too. Like we know you're a Kendrick fan too.
You're not all bad.
And we like some of Drake's music too, obviously, right? Like.
No, listen. All I'm saying is what I've learned through this whole situation: Kendrick, Drake, Weeknd, Metro Boomin. I just need them niggas to shut the hell up. Like, please. Like, the greatest time that The Weeknd released his music was when he was doing the House of Balloon shit, and I didn't hear a peep from him. He was just, like, silent. He just dropped music and then disappeared. That's the best part about the whole thing.
So you're saying you want more music?
I want more music, and I want them to shut up. Like, why is Metro Boomin on Twitter every day tweeting some irrelevant shit about an album that he got dissed for? And he's not going to respond yet.
So you're saying Metro stick to the drums?
We didn't even talk about that in the diss when we went over it. Damn.
Yeah.
That was one of the coldest ones.
Listen, I could recommend him some great 808 packs that he could just go and do some shit with. But until he doesn't, until he can bring some lyrical nature to his music, just shut up and make some drums, ho.
What was your take on Drake doing the drumline thing and like trying to show up to Magic City with some drummers and play? Like, was that an own?
That was that a
cell phone?
That was just insta smoke to me. I don't know.
I think Drake is an innovative genius. I don't know if you are privy to the mariachi band Metro Shut Your Ho Ass Up and make some fucking drum spin day song.
I did hear that. Was that AI or that was real?
That was real.
That's what I don't fuck about this whole thing is that every second we're asking, oh, is this AI? Is this AI? Keep that shit out of it, man.
But
you cannot sit here and defend the AI Tupac thing, though. Seriously.
People are doing it, and I want to hear it.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Are you pro or anti this most recent diss track with AI?
Of course I'm pro Tupac. I'm pro. Listen, I'm a music fan.
But it ain't Pac, though. He's putting words into a dead man's mouth.
Listen, didn't it sound like Pac?
No, not really.
It's exactly like Pac. He had the cadence down and everything.
It sounded like Drake's flow though. It was Drake's flow. You could hear it clear as day. Same with the Snoop shit.
What do you mean it was Drake's flow?
That was clearly Drake.
Drake's flow is Tupac's flow. What do
you couldn't fool me for that. Is not.
They're
that's
the same
cap
guy.
That's
Andrew.
cap too. That's cap too.
No. They're not the same guy. But are you gonna sit here and tell me that Drizzy Drake, okay, the singing, rapping man, is not paying homage throughout his entire career to the OG singing rapping man, which is Tupac Shakur?
If he has, I haven't heard it. I don't know.
It's this whole.
If anything, he pays more homage to MJ. At least recently.
He's paying homage to MJ because people call him a pop artist, which he kind of is technically.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of put him in that category of
pop rap. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hot part of the hip hop because his stuff is mainly pop. But in the world where Kendrick Lamar can sing, rap, introduce AI into his music, I get it, guys. He won a fucking Pulitzer Award. Okay, that's great. He's a smart man. That does not give him the right to literally just sit there and let Drake make a song that goes, Whitney, come help me. I need your help. That doesn't give you the right to just sit by and just be like, nah, I got a Pulitzer. No, you have to say something. I
agree that Kendrick has to say something. And, there is a clock for sure, but I think that Drake trying to rush him can come off as a little bit insecure about what Kendrick might say. Especially because Drake as Tupac was fucking... Let me pull. I need the lyrics.
Listen, if you're talking about in a nigga under 5'5", so it's gotta be you. He's a small man. What do you want him to say?
That's true.
He's 5'5" is borderline adolescent height. You gotta
hey Deeg.
Wear some pumps or something.
Josh just walked in the room.
Jay Pacey just joined the podcast.
I'm just saying. 5'5" is crazy.
He's only 5'5".
Yeah, he's tiny.
5'5", man. I think my little brother, he's a
I think it's good, yeah. I switched the audio because it was getting lower.
Okay.
So I just switched audio.
Sorry, some technical difficulties here for a second.
Yeah, Jay Pacey just walked into the stew. Let's get into it even more with everyone here. Okay, so Drake as Tupac. AI Tupac says in the song.
I came in at just the perfect time.
He says, talk about him liking young girls. That's a gift for me. Heard it on the Button podcast. It's got to be true. Drake is trying to get ahead of whatever Kendrick might say, which to me comes off as insecure a little bit.
Is Kendrick Googling a word that rhymes with pedophile right now?
Probably.
Yeah.
Rhyme zone it.
Oh man, his whole diss lyrics are gonna get him flagged by the FBI.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
But let's be honest here. This is a tactic we've seen before. This is something that we've seen before in the rap industry, and we praised the man that did it. We praised him. They made a movie about him. We're talking about the original OG battle rapper, Mr. Marshall Mathers, aka Yellow Bag of M&Ms. All right.
Okay, so you're saying he pulled the fucking pulled a rabbit where he has oh, you could talk about me like this, you could talk about me like that, like he's giving him the ammo to shut him up almost.
Yeah, and
so he doesn't have anything.
Now, when Kendrick drops the diss track, right, he's gonna say, "Oh, you like 18-year-olds, bro? Are we gonna sit here and just not act like that's a legal age that you can pursue?"
Okay, I mean, it's deeper than that. We don't have to get into it because I don't really necessarily. Well, I mean, if Kendrick drops, we're gonna call you right back up again and talk about it.
We're gonna have to throw a lot of allegedlys in there if we want to talk about this because Drake is a litigious fellow.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is that what Drake said he did wrong in his life, he didn't do anything overtly wrong. I mean, there was that video going around about him on
There's
stage.
one where he's with the 17-year-old girl. Yeah.
Yeah. But wasn't he like 21 or something at the time?
He was younger, and also the age of consent in Canada is 16. So if you really want to get fucking super into it,
I don't want to. No, I'm not getting into age of consent. But I'm just saying, ethically, he's kind of on the borderline. But
it's definitely that's the thing is that it's always been a little bit sus behavior, but it's never been like enough to really be damning enough to fucking get him out of here. So unless Kendrick knows something, then he can't really.
It's sort of a Dan Schneider situation, in my opinion. You know?
Okay, yeah.
You can't lock the guy up, but he
was a bit of an asshole.
His reputation can be damaged for sure.
I don't want to put Drake and Dan Schneider in the same.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, maybe that was a bit off, but here's a question for you: is Drake playing chess or checkers?
Drake is playing backgammon.
He's playing Risk, man. All these rappers are playing Risk, dude.
And
risking it, yeah.
you can't put Drake in that tiny little category to say, oh, Kendrick can't do wrong in this situation because Kendrick is Kendrick, and Kendrick has the Pulitzer, and Kendrick made Damn and Mad City and Untitled, Unmastered, and To Pimp a Butterfly, which honestly, let's be real, guys, is a snooze fest, okay? Also,
all right, thanks for coming on, Deego. We appreciate it.
Name me your favorite song on To Pimp a Butterfly. Do it.
There's literally almost all of it, yeah. You.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put on To Pimp a Butterfly, okay? From Wesley's Theory all the way down to Mortal Man, and I want you to say every single word.
I can't. You know we can't say every word, Adam. We can't say every single one.
If you can't say the words, you can't understand the words. So a lot of the people that I see defending Kendrick online, no offense, guys, are people that can't understand Kendrick's struggle. So therefore, I can kind of put Kendrick in the bubble of his fans don't really understand his music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not fair, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I think it's moving on from attacking the fan base, attacking the guy, to attacking the fan base for being too white or whatever.
Toxic. The fan base is so toxic. Kendrick fans are like Boston fans.
Every fan base in this discussion has been terrible and has they're all toxic. And that's the thing about this beef as well. I don't know if there's gonna be a winner because both fan bases are so set in their ways. Where it's like they're always gonna just be moving the goalpost. It's
Republicans and Democrats.
They'll be moving the goalpost for every single thing that happens. The fan bases either way.
I was gonna say I won't move the goalpost for Drake, but I probably
And
would.
then we'll do the same. That's the thing. That's just what it is, though. Like,
Adam, I heard you was conflicted, misusing your influence.
I really am. Sometimes you did the same though. Don't get conflicted. But
using my power full of resentment.
Okay, also, sorry, may I also add that Snoop Dogg came out with a little video.
He did, I saw that.
Me too, yeah.
And
he was just like, they did what? They did who? I'm out of this shit. Man, it was 420 yesterday, it's a national holiday, he's not bothered by any of this shit.
We can't be beefing on 420, but it's 421, so we're back to normal.
You didn't understand the Snoop Dogg video, and this is what I'm telling you guys.
Alright, explain the Snoop Dogg video.
If you look at that Snoop Dogg video, okay? If you've never even seen on TV an interrogation room, and when they're grilling someone that's not going to talk, he just quoted that. He said, "Those guys did what? Really? Wow."
He's not peeping. He's not getting a peep from. We're not getting a peep from him.
No, because he's so unbothered, and it's so like I for a second I'm like, you know, Tupac and Snoop were close, like. Is he going to feel disrespected by this by having one of his old friends like be put on like this? But like he seems to just be, you know, just staying out of it, which is, you know, good for him.
No, it's not that he's staying out of it. That's not what he's saying. The thing he's saying is he gave the okay for Drake to use the verse.
I don't know if that's true.
Listen. If you watch that Snoop Dogg video, right, with the impression,
he said 5 words. So how are we supposed to tell what he knows?
No, this is the key to the whole thing.
Oh man.
It's what I'm saying. It's classic interrogation tactics, okay? When someone, like, you are on the street, right? You're friends with some bad people. The police bring you in, okay? They're like, hey, we need to know about this, and this. And you said, who did this? Oh, those guys.
You're saying he knew about it. Okay, yeah.
He definitely knew. And that's why I'm like...
Maybe, but I don't know if Drake would even do... I don't think Drake is even that serious about this freestyle to run it by Snoop Dogg. I think he's just playing with the whole idea of the AI shit, how everyone thought his original push-up song was AI, that he's just like, fuck it, let me do some AI shit about Kendrick's 2 fucking idols here, and put him on his heels.
The thing about that is that I don't believe that it would be as easy for Drake to use Snoop's voice versus Tupac's voice, because Tupac, it's one thing for the estate to argue defamation, right?
Right.
But it's one thing about the actual person arguing defamation,
That's
right?
True.
Because if Drake started talking about Kendrick and talking shit about Kendrick in Tupac's voice, then you could kind of argue, oh, Tupac was a disrespectful dude. Listen to Hit Him Up, listen to that. It was paying homage to him,
right?
And Tupac's not really there to disagree. Whereas Snoop Dogg, he's alive, And if he really disagreed with that Drake thing, he could have Drake in court in 2 seconds.
That's true, but also it's not official. It's not on streaming. It's just on Drake's Instagram, right? Like, it's not that official to the point where you can sue, no?
Well, you could probably argue that it's defamation of character, right?
I suppose.
And sue it because it's been done before. It's not like hip hop lyrics have never been used in court before.
For sure, unfortunately. My whole thing is that why would Snoop has always been in Kendrick's camp. I don't think Snoop and Drake have ever really had a song together. Why would Snoop all of a sudden switch up?
I don't think Snoop has always been in Kendrick's camp. I think that
he gave him the key to the city.
He gave him the key to the city because it was a publicity move. I don't think
You're saying he did it begrudgingly. He didn't want to give it up.
No,
Martha Stewart put him up to it.
It should have gone to YG.
Martha Stewart asked me to do anything. I'm doing it. I'm not lying. Me and Martha, we're on a boat, super yacht. Okay, she's cooking me eggs. It's great.
Let's move on to some of these other beefers. Have you deleted all the Weeknd, ASAP Rocky, and Nav from your phone, or?
Again, I'm a big fan of music. I will never delete these guys.
Yeah.
But honestly, again, these guys. Who are you? Like, stop talking. Just stop talking. The whole thing in the beginning of your career, Weeknd, was that you were quiet, and we loved you for being quiet. You dropped The Hills, you dropped Wicked Games, I was a big fan of Weeknd, and then he converted into one could only kind of attribute it to a heroined out Michael Jackson, and
He's making shitty TV shows now for HBO.
I can't really, you know.
I'm a Weeknd defender. I didn't become a fan till the After Hours era, really. But I'm probably way off for that.
These guys, Alex, they just gotta shut up. They just gotta shut up. I'm gonna do the reporter.
It's a 20v1. What can you do? People are pissed at Drake, and we were talking about before we put you on. We're wondering why all these people are mad at Drake. Alex is like, everyone thinks he's an asshole. Maybe it's some cheating thing. Future and Drake had the same girl for a second.
I think enough people just don't like him for legit reasons.
Rick Ross mentioned he didn't like him because of the French Montana cease and desist shit. What do you have a theory as to why?
I don't have a theory. I can tell you in actuality, he's probably just not a good guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what Alex was saying. I'm sure you've heard of this theory though. When we were talking about it before, that was brought up on the Joe Budden podcast. How Drake might have like a percentage of all of these fucking new up and coming rappers, and some of these older rappers too, like Rick Ross and Future. He might have his hands in all of their fucking...
The Sexy Red collabs, the
Four Bats collab recently. There's speculation that, like, him and someone from Apple created this fucking Avengers type of fucking rich supergroup they're taking fucking money from all of these fucking artists now. Have you heard of this?
I heard of it,
yeah.
And I'll take it one step further. I don't think Drake has a hand in their pot at all. I think what happens is these artists have a specific timeline because, art is art and you want it released in your way and you want it released when you want it released. I think Drake being Interscope and all of them also being Interscope, aka Universal, when Drake wants to drop a project, he can drop it whenever. Right?
Of course.
And when it turns out that you as an artist want to drop a project, but you're on the same label, and the label said, no, to make the most money, we need you to drop it this day, but you see Drake, and he can drop it whenever, you get a little bit spiteful. And when you're basically the whole money factory for a label, you probably bring in, Drake probably brings in, a third of Universal's,
I mean, they got some big artists there, but it's a good chunk. I'd imagine.
No, I don't think other than Weeknd, you could argue that anybody on Universal.
Man, isn't T Swift on Universal? Or am I tripping?
I think 90% of the music right now is Universal. I want to say that Universal has kind of a monopoly on the game. So if you want to drop and Drake wants to drop, sorry, buddy, you're getting bumped. You're getting bumped far away.
That could be it too.
And as an artist, I kind of hold resentment for that. And on top of that, he's just having copious amounts of relations with a lot of people's girlfriends.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people on the block. And when you're Drake, you're Drake rich, you just kind of become disconnected. I feel like you can only relate to a small, like I want to say an insignificant amount of the population. Like I want to say 10 to 11 people that you know. You can only relate to them and then no one else.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you there in terms of I think that's a little bit of a crackpot theory. It might hold some merit. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Maybe Kendrick knows something behind the scenes. But yeah, I agree with the whole like kind of far removed, like him and Rick Ross. I've stopped with the Rick Ross and Drake beef just because they kept just subbing each other on Instagram and comparing houses and stuff. I'm like, man, y'all lost me on this shit. I don't know.
I kind of related to that when he said you own this nice big mansion if you want people to believe you're rich, but you don't even own the massive lawn that's right beside it. Like, come on, man. Just buy it.
Yeah, it was funny, but it's like that's the whole point of like, man, I don't want the beef on Instagram. Like you said, I want the music. I want to stick to the rap. So, what do you think of Rick Ross's response?
I think Rick Ross is hilarious. But
yeah, it's funny as fuck. The white boy shit, come on, that's funny.
The white boy shit is hilarious, but I also is mad disrespectful. Like,
yeah.
Like,
is BBL Drizzy a genuine hashtag, or is it old guy trying to do the internet?
Ooh, good question.
I think Rick Ross. I think I don't take him seriously enough for him to kind of hold water with me, but I do think it's mad disrespectful what he's saying because realistically, Rick wants to say that he's a big guy in the rap game, but I can't. Like,
no one was waiting for the Rick Ross response.
He has a bit part in hip hop history, but you know, he does get some respect for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He thinks he's Big Meech.
That's the thing, though. I looked up before and after pictures of Drake and his nose. It looks almost the same. I don't know if that's true.
That's just a good surgeon. Let's be honest.
That could be true. Yeah.
I mean,
who
wouldn't?
He was talking about his nose, to be honest with you.
Talk about his nose. Talk about his abs as well.
No, I don't. But specifically when he's talking about his surgery, I don't think he was talking about his nose or his abs.
What kind of surgery do you think Drake got underneath the?
I think we all saw the video.
Oh, we're talking about that surgery. Okay, all right.
I think we all saw the video.
The rumors are true.
Oh my god, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Rapcast 65.
I'm not hiding it. I'm not hiding it. Okay.
People on the internet, I heard it on the Rapcast. It must be true.
That's the next. Yeah, who's Drake tapping for the next AI diss? If Kendrick doesn't drop next week, who's he tapping?
Oh,
Dre. He's dropping Dre and
Aretha Franklin.
No. He is tapping the original disrespectful, Mr. Dr. Disrespect. He is tapping into the original slick motherfucking Rick. If he does not, I don't know what to say. I'm expecting a slick Rick AI verse.
Okay.
It's gotta be. Have you guys heard the lyricism that Slick Rick can provide? If he gets on that and he starts talking about some Mona Lisa level storytelling, and he's just flipping. Oh, and let's not talk about Slick Rick. Actually, let's talk about how the next AI verse is 100% going to be Kendrick talking about himself.
You think?
Let's say it.
Oh, you're saying the Kendrick diss is going to be a Kendrick AI thing that he made? And it's going to be dissing himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be like, I smell like farts and I'm stupid.
And I'm tiny and I have small feet.
That's some whoop-diddy scoop shit.
No, man.
Whoop-diddy scoop? Yes.
That would be, yeah, honestly. And of course, fucking Kanye had to get in there with the Like That remix. Did you hear that as well? That dropped like yesterday.
That was great.
I purposely avoided it.
Really? You were like, you texted me like, I booked off my afternoon to listen to this fucking verse.
Yeah, and then I started it, and then he says something about he's having relations with someone with a Sean Johns on. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it just kind of proves more so that Kanye doesn't belong in these conversations anymore. Honestly,
don't say that. It's just Kanye is the Batman of the rap game.
Yeah.
I think that when he gets on his little turntables and his little soundboard, and he starts, rapping, and he gets that whole posse around that we seen on Instagram, and they all give him bars. 100%. That's the number one album.
Yes, I'm wearing Vulture's merch right now,
and I am distasteful of it overall.
But I'm wearing the communist hat so people don't think I'm a fascist.
Okay, right on.
Which are easy pods, Alex.
Fucking. I think. I mean, to me, it's just Kanye. Like, Kanye doesn't belong in the big three conversation. He was the big three of the 2010s. Him, Wayne, and I guess M, maybe. He doesn't belong in this new shit, man.
I think it's crazy that he came out with Yeezy pods. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, was it the shoes or the socks or whatever the fuck?
The socks?
Yeah.
He's a cardboard on the bottom and he charged people $20. He said,
Joe Budden says that was the most comfortable shit he's ever owned. Oh my god.
I'm sure socks are comfortable as Kanye. I'm sure they are.
We want to hit you with a few more hot-hitting questions here. There's still, we still haven't even gotten into a lot of the shit, but we don't want to take up too much of your time. Overall, do you think it was smart of J. Cole to bow out like he did?
I think it was very smart, but
yeah. Do you think it would have been better if he dropped Might Delete Later with no Kendrick diss?
No, I think I'm also gonna drop a hot take here. I don't like J. Cole diss tracks. I think that again, I'm just gonna keep dropping hot takes because I can. Please. I'm not a scholarly article, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. Kendrick didn't really diss Drake. Like, he dissed Drake, but he wasn't a Drake diss, if that makes sense. He was just saying, you're not the GOAT. I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, it wasn't that crazy of it wasn't like...
It was more the other people that jumped on that made it more personal and more...
It was the context around it, how Future was also dissing and how, like, all Rick Ross... And, like, it was the context around it that definitely made Drake, like, okay, I'm gonna respond here. But it wasn't that scathing of a diss, really. Like
Drake and Kendrick, they just have philosophical differences on what they think the music should be about. But on a personal level...
think they're the GOAT as well.
It's not personal with them, though.
But Drake is making it more personal, dropping Kendrick's wife's name in the shit.
Yeah.
And calling him short.
Well, who cares?
Size 7 minutes. But the original verse that Kendrick dropped wasn't that bad. So he was really just calling himself the GOAT. And he's like, God, back the fuck up. I'm the GOAT. If you say something, rap, gangster shit, blah, 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 I'll do that to you, but I'm the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If J. Cole didn't respond, Drake would have never said anything. Ever. He would never have said anything.
You think he forced his hand?
He kind of did, because...
Yeah, because that's true, though, because if J. Cole never responded... Drake would have just maybe... They've been shooting subs at each other for their whole careers. They would probably just continue doing that.
Yeah, right. And then... So, when J. Cole dropped, and he killed, or quote-unquote killed Kendrick on his Might Delete Later album...
I don't think anyone agrees that he killed Kendrick on it. He was bigging up Kendrick the whole time.
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... When he dropped and he said that, and then he bowed out and he said, "Oh, guys, I just want to apologize to Kendrick Lamar, blah, blah, blah." Now Drake has to do something. Because if Drake doesn't do something, then it kind of acknowledges J. Cole's side to say that, oh, Kendrick is the greatest and no one can ever step
That's
to Kendrick.
True, yeah.
No.
That's a good point.
That's not the case now. So Drake had to drop. And then, I don't know why he dropped, 3 tracks? He didn't really drop them, he leaked them, but... I don't know why 3 tracks got leaked, the Push-Ups, the Whitney song, and then the Taylor Made.
I didn't hear this Whitney song. What is this one?
The one where it's like, Whitney...
Here, let me...
Oh, okay. I thought you were just talking about, he mentions Whitney in the other one.
Let's do a live react to this, because I haven't heard it.
Actual Whitney diss.
Let me...
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Has it been confirmed that it's him and not AI? I hate that I'm asking it.
If only Drake had an actual real-life wife or girlfriend that you could mention by name, that would... make him salty, but
he kind of does the porn star.
But like, what's her name even? Like, I don't know, fucking some French name. I don't know.
I don't know. Are they together? Or they were just co-parenting. I don't know. Who knows? All right.
I guess that's the closest thing to a wife that he has.
I got Drake Hi Whitney 5 days ago. Leaked second diss full track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Live reaction.
Yeah, I don't think we recorded that.
Well, whatever. We'll figure it out.
We just heard the Hi Whitney diss for the first time, and yeah, he's. Why is Drake coming at him so hard though? Like, does he have something over Kendrick? Like, why is he itching so hard to get him to drop?
What do you think is the secret information that he's keeping in the tuck in case there's a third round to this?
I think that the secret information, there's nothing you can keep secret in 2024 when it comes to Drake.
Right.
With all the internet deep divers, the tabloids, the everything.
Yeah.
you cannot hide anything about Drake. You cannot. There's nothing that you can, unless you pull out some Epstein level shit. There's nothing you can say, Kendrick, at this point that would kind of make me say, okay, yeah, you won. And if you're gonna take 2 years to drop like Meek Mill did with 1 or No, you know, like we already went through this with Meek Mill. Okay, Meek came out with a diss track. Then Drake dropped.
Dropped like 2, I think.
Charged Up and Back to Back, or something like that. And
that song sucked.
Which one?
Back to Back.
That was fine.
Okay, well, whatever.
I think it was probably one of the better diss tracks we've heard, to be honest with you. But yeah,
it was one of Drake's better ones for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Push Ups though. I think it's a good diss track. Like, sure, he's talking about how he's short. That doesn't really fucking matter. But like, he's coming at him for like, you know, his fake gangster shit. Oh, he collabed with fucking Maroon 5 and T Swift though, and like he's coming at his wife and shit. Like it's some of it's cold.
That one did make me laugh a bit.
Some of it's cold.
Fucking Adam Levine out here catching strays.
I think again, you can't be claiming gangster, you can't be claiming Blood or Crip, and then you're making a song with Maroon 5. The money's not that good.
But Drake claims he's gangster all the time too, though.
Yeah, but Drake's not a gangster.
Not on the same level that Kendrick does, though.
Drake's Lex Luthor style gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is Lex Luthor. Kanye's Batman. Drake's Lex Luthor. Who's Kendrick?
Kendrick, if Drake's Lex Luthor, then Kendrick is
fucking Wolverine. I don't know.
He's probably Kendrick. Yeah, he looks like a Wolverine kind of guy.
And Little Dicky is Deadpool.
No. All I'm saying is, again, 3 tracks. He's getting pressured from somewhere, but there's nothing you could probably bring out that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like,
I was actually asking if there's a info Drake has on Kendrick that he's saving for his if there needs to be another response from him. But
again, I don't think Kendrick's going to respond. I'm going to say that right now. I don't think he's going to.
That's the thing.
Okay, bold prediction.
I mean, honestly, I kind of agree. I don't know. Like, either he's going to respond like within the next 2 weeks, or he's not. Like,
I think 50 kind of put it in a good light. He said something like, "I've seen this movie before. We've seen this happen before with Drake, but." You could also have been alluding to he's seen this happen before in the streets of New York, where you are a rapper and you think you're a hotshot, and then you talk shit about somebody who's actually in the life, and then you end up getting popped in a crowded room,
right?
As Drake put it, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I could see it going either way. I could see Kendrick dropping something, and by the time this drops, maybe Kendrick dropped the most scathing diss track of all time. Who fucking knows? But
if Kendrick never responds, us white people are gonna have to just shut up forever.
No.
But at the same time, like we were saying before, like Kendrick wasn't really going at Drake all that hard. So Drake pressuring Kendrick this hard, like, is it really gonna get him to come back at Drake if Kendrick wasn't coming at him that hard in the first place?
Yeah, because like I said, this kind of transitioned past the GOAT conversation. This is just Drake getting his bars out for some reason against Kendrick Lamar, who we know. I don't think any Drake fan is going to sit here and argue with you that Kendrick has the better pen, because Kendrick does have the better pen.
Right.
And
that's all we wanted to hear.
But you can have the greatest pen in the world, but if
you're right, not be the GOAT.
But if no one recognizes it, then it doesn't feel like
there's better lyricists than Kendrick Lamar, 100%, that aren't as good as Kendrick. Like,
exactly, but it's about who can make hits and who can come out on top, and we can consistently say that Drake can do that, whereas Kendrick cannot. Because okay, guys, I'm gonna get red flagged by YouTube for saying this, but what the fuck is Mr. Morales? Like, please, can we talk about this? It's not a good album. It's great for anybody that's not Kendrick. It's not a good Kendrick album. I put that at the bottom of my Kendrick discography.
Interesting take. I think we both disagree.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree.
I really love that album.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best albums from the last couple of years, for sure.
But,
it was my album of the year from the year it came out.
In Kendrick's discography, where does it rank?
I would probably have to put it lower on the discography just because Mad City is such a classic to me.
I'm probably, like 3 or 4, but only because,
But it's hard to... It's all great, in my opinion, but...
You're putting it 3 or 4 with a man that has 5 albums. well, 4 albums, considering that Overly Dedicated was kind of a mixtape.
No, it includes Section 80 and Untitled and Mastered in that shit too.
Okay, 7 albums. But I think I can name you 5 or 6 Kendrick projects that are better. What was it? Untitled and Mastered, To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, Overly Dedicated, Section 80, and
I wouldn't put Untitled and Mastered over Mr. Morale.
You wouldn't put
No. It's more of like a mixtape. It's not like a full fleshed out thing.
Come on. But Mr. Morale's a fucking experience from start to finish. It challenges you.
It's made me fucking tear up, man. It's fucking powerful shit.
I cried.
You have weak emotions.
We white boys. God damn, we white boys.
I guess that's the problem.
That's the thesis of all this shit. Yeah. We white boys.
No, it's not about white boys. It's just
I know, we're kidding about the white stuff, but
you two know that, by the way. I feel like you should put a disclaimer. YouTube doesn't know that you guys. Okay, anyways, all I'm saying is, if you look at Mr. Morales with an objective lens, it is not good. It's not good Kendrick album. It's not a good Kendrick
album. All right, we're gonna just move on from that.
Agree to disagree. I mean, because that's the thing we were talking about with J. Cole's diss to Kendrick. He was talking about Kendrick's discography and ripping on it. And like, that's the one thing you can't. Like, you're not going to win that conversation. You're just going to be wrong if you're going to go through Kendrick's thing and be like, that's just whack,
I can see how it wasn't a lot of people's cup of tea, but I live in a world where I liked it, and I don't really...
It's probably his most divisive album overall. Like, there's not many hits on it. Like, his pen game maybe isn't as strong on that one either. But he's talking about some really important shit on there that's, I think is...
His trans uncle?
Yes! That's important to rap about. Deadass, though.
Okay.
That was some powerful shit.
It was better than J. Cole's trans bars.
100%.
Okay. That's a crazy song. Sorry.
Yeah, he should have deleted that one. Come on.
He should have deleted it.
No, he's talking about anti-diaries.
Oh, that?
Yeah. I mean, you can delete We Cry Together, maybe. But...
Okay. All I'm saying is, again, I don't think Kendrick came in that hard, though. You know, to bring it back to the root of the conversation. He didn't come at him that hard. There was no need for him to drop High Whitney. There was no need for him to drop Taylor Made. Push-Ups is a banger. I love Push-Ups. I like that he dropped it. But it should have ended there.
I feel like
he's overdoing it now.
Because he dropped Taylor Made, or he dropped Taylor Made like the day that Push-Ups hit streaming, and he's being like, "Where are you? Where are you?" It's like, dude, this just hit streaming. Sure, it's been out for like 3 days or whatever, but like, give it like.
He's going to play that side, though, and that's fair game, honestly.
Because right now, Drake is winning, so he's going to do everything in his power to seem like he is unbeatable, and one diss track from Kendrick isn't going to do it. So if he puts out more than one, it's like, okay, now Kendrick has to really do something to fucking come back here. Because I think, honestly, he's still salty about the Pusha T beef, and I think we might disagree with that, but I think he knows what happened last time, and he's trying to get ahead of it this time, for sure.
Wild take. He didn't really say anything that crazy, Pusha T. I don't think he killed Drake too much that people think he did, to the extent that people think he did. I think that Pusha T said, "You are hiding a child." People were like, the bar is crazy. The context of it is not that crazy. You know? Like, people...
I mean, he did...
Making fun of OVO 40s, that was probably pretty... That was pretty...
that was a crazy line.
It was violated that. Surgical Summer, like, yeah, that was...
But again...
That was insulting.
Well, obviously it didn't destroy his career like people... like Push and Kendrick fans are going to lead you to believe.
No, I just think it'll stick with him personally.
He was hurt. I think he was hurt about it, for sure.
But again... A lot of people think that Pusha is the greatest rapper of all time, based on the Drake disses. But then again, they don't support Pusha Project. So we can't call Pusha the Thanos that he is when it comes to the Drake situation, because he's really not. He's not him. If I look at you and I say, "Oh, there's a new Pusha project," you know exactly what the project's going to say. You know that there's no difference in context.
You could argue about you could say the same thing about Drake, though. Honestly.
I don't think so.
Other than Honestly Nevermind was a different kind of sounding record for sure.
Honestly,
but For All the Dogs sounds like Scorpion. It sounds like Certified Lover Boy.
Okay, Certified Lover Boy is a great album.
That's my least favorite one out of him in a while, I think.
I didn't think For All the Dogs is I liked Certified Lover Boy.
For All the Dogs is the best one in a minute, I think.
I think Drake has done enough in his discography to say that he could do whatever he wants.
That's true, though. That's true as well. Like he's He's done it all.
Yeah.
What else can you expect him to do?
Let's move on to Quavo versus Chris Brown.
God. This is gonna end in blood, dude. I swear to God.
Let's go.
Are you fucking kidding me? Man says we all fucked with Takeoff. He was the only good one. It should have been you. Jesus Christ, man.
There's kids around. How dare you say that?
You're not talking about how he opened the song, about him begging Chris Brown not to beat his ass.
That's true.
I love the picture of them. They're at the Fashion Week or whatever, and he's like pissed off that he got seated beside Quavo, and they have to sit there the whole time not liking each other.
But this whole shit wouldn't have... Chris Brown wouldn't have dropped this new shit if it wasn't for this beef going on between Drake and Kendrick. It's because beef is hot right now. People are talking about hip-hop again. Thank God, it's doing numbers for us.
I don't even know what they're really mad about, but...
I don't remember what the root of the problem is. Adam, do you... I know you're a bigger fan of Chris Breezy than we are.
Shout out my boy Chris Breezy, the 45-song album, man.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's crazy.
He's the GOAT.
His last big hit, It's Giving Christmas.
Y'all are talking 4 languages to me right now. I don't remember that shit at all.
All I'm saying is that you can't fuck with a man that has enough time to put 45 songs on the album. He said, I could not cut one.
Yeah.
Man. Chris Brown's got the crackhead energy.
They ship coke, like full bricks to his
man.
studio, and he just goes at it. Comes out with 900 songs.
Yeah.
As a man, Quavo, you can't fuck with Chris Brown. One, because he will drop a diss track. And you know that the man has bars because, again, he can drop 45 different songs on a project and just say, no, all of them are different and good enough to stay. 2, he is, again, what in Ottawa we like to call a crackhead. He may not assume the crackhead look, but trust me.
Yeah, he has the energy.
He is one of those.
I can see him
look in his eyes.
I can see him do a backflip like anytime, like anywhere he can pull it off.
He does a backflip every morning when he wakes up.
Every time I see Chris Brown, he is on a scooter.
Yeah.
If this ends up in a dance-off, Quavo is done.
Oh yeah.
Isn't this all about Sweetie or something? Like,
there was something to do with that. I don't know.
Yeah, because Sweetie cheated on Quavo with Chris Brown.
Oh,
yeah, that was the rumor.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
And then when Quavo and Sweetie broke up, Quavo had relations with Chris Brown's ex-girlfriend. I don't remember which one because he's had so many. And then Quavo was rubbing that in his face, and then Chris Brown went crazy.
So it's all about the ladies, huh? That's what it comes down to. Yeah,
because that was originally what the diss like that was for. Because Drake had sex with Future's assistant or something.
I thought it was a thing where it's like, no, that was Rick Ross. Yeah, I don't know. It was Future and Drake were on with the same girl at the same time. Whatever, pillow talk and something something happened. Yeah, it's always over with. Yeah. But these guys, they're so rich that when they like something, they just cling on to it, and then they're done with it in the end of 2 months. So I'm expecting if there's no Kendrick response in 2 months, then we'll see a Drake and Future piece of photo on Instagram. And then yeah, honestly, I don't even think this Rick Ross and Drake shit is real. I think they're just playing it up. Honestly, I don't think it's that serious.
Existential question: is this whole thing corny?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes, because it's a bunch of grown men writing poems about each other.
I know. What is this, William Shakespeare or some shit?
Just look at their age, man. Like Drake's like almost 40. Kendrick, I'm pretty sure, is 40.
I think Kendrick's a little younger than Drake. I think they're both like 36, 38, something like that. Like they're up there.
Again,
somehow Lil Wayne is still 29 years old. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably all the...
Yeah, I don't know. Because people are also talking about how, like... I don't know if it's corny, but like, is it maybe pre-planned or something? Like, is it?
It's professional wrestling. Come on, at this level, with all this money involved, there's no way.
But I think there is genuine hate between Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah,
like I think that part of it is real, but like there's some stuff in the background that's premeditated. I think label wise, money wise.
I don't know the specifics, but just mass media in general. That's what I think, but I don't really know.
Safe to assume.
My whole take on the entire beef situation comes from Vince Staples once rappers mad, we got billboards from streamers talking about hip hop as a sport, but we ain't never seen a billboard from a streamer that said, give that rapper his publishing back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I think that, again, you're almost 40. And if you're not almost 40, you're over 40 in this beef, except for, like, Metro Boomin. Again,
I guess.
He's like that one young guy around a group of old guys.
He's not really part. Yeah, he's not really part of it.
And you're all over 40. I personally barely have enough energy to get in my car and drive down the street to go to the Tim Hortons. I don't have enough energy to beef it. I'm like 26.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being 40 and holding this level of animosity over someone, over a woman. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can.
Or even Drake and Kendrick, like, over almost nothing. Like,
That's how you stay young. You stay angry.
oh boy.
Again, shout out women. We love, we respect women. But again, I cannot see myself getting mad over women enough to threaten to pop someone in a crowded room or bury all the dogs.
Yeah, that's incel shit.
Like,
Yeah. For as much as it might be corny, it's still super entertaining.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
I only ask that because that's probably what people outside the room who don't care about any rap or any music think.
You're right.
About all this bullshit.
it is corny. It is corny. And if I see a 40-year-old fighting with another 40-year-old, I'm getting my phone out and I'm putting it on World Star because it's funny.
Yeah.
But now seeing Drake and Future and Kendrick and all of them fight, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can't take this serious. I don't have the bandwidth for it. My fucking RAM's running out. You know,
and I feel I feel like the longer it goes on too, the less serious it's gonna get. Like now with Kanye coming in with the remix and this AI shit being involved, it's like, man, like, yeah, if Kendrick doesn't drop within the week, I think this whole shit's gonna be mute, and we're not gonna even be talking about it.
We're gonna go back to being an obscure podcast.
Oh my god.
No, the numbers will stay high. You know what you gotta do.
They got to.
That's the attitude we gotta have, you know?
You just gotta drop the you know how Sexy Red and Cardi B and Glorilla all get leaked right before they put out a good project. Someone's gotta get on it.
We gotta leak this podcast.
Dude.
Someone's gotta get on it. No, that's not the kind of leak I'm talking
No,
about.
that's what I'm saying. We gotta leak this podcast. That's how it goes.
That's not the kind of leak I'm talking about.
We gotta AI our voices. I'm Tupac the whole time. Alex is Snoop. We gotta get this technology. We gotta hone it.
AI G-Eazy is gonna jump in.
Oh, can't wait till Jeezy gets involved. Oh my god. Where's Logic doing it all? What's
There's so
Logic
many
saying?
people where, like, I want to figure out what side they're on, you know?
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
It's completely unrelated to the beef at all, but you brought up Logic, and I want to just invite everybody in the world listening to this podcast, please, convince your favorite artist to start hating Logic again. Please, God, it was the funniest thing that I've ever fucking heard. It's when people just started dissing Logic randomly. It's probably bad for him, and I'm sorry, Logic, but it was funny as fuck. So if everyone could please just get on the Logic. Right?
And it's funny because Logic reads those comments and he does feel bad.
Oh yeah.
and it bums him out.
Yeah.
I don't care though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. The man's a great lyricist. It's just the lyrics that he talks about are just so specific. I can't.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. We've been talking about Logic since day one on here.
But wasn't it great when you could just kind of like, you listen to a new album, you're like, oh shit, my favorite artist dropped. Why is there a Logic diss in here? Like, please. It's great. It's like a little Easter egg. You know, once a year you get a Logic diss, and
that was nice.
Great.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Sorry, Logic.
I mean, when him and Seth MacFarlane link up for a track, shit is about to go off.
Wait, what?
Oh, you haven't heard that one?
He got Seth MacFarlane on a joint on his last tape.
He is so unserious.
I know. He's just trying, man. He's just doing shit. What are you gonna do?
He's laying it out for you. Just someone start beef with Logic. It's gonna be the greatest.
Joyner Lucas tried to, but it's Joyner Lucas, so it's like no one likes either of them.
Fucking
so it's
has to join in on this. That's why they call him Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
No,
you can't just let other people have fun.
Yeah.
Why does Joyner Lucas feel like a less irrelevant version of Logic?
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, it's strange because they're both like the lyrical miracle rapping type shit, like Eminem clones almost, but like they're both just not that important.
Who's that guy that he's the American version of Classified? You know the guy that made
Yeah.
That's Jonah.
I don't know. I don't think there is any American analog to Classified. He's a truly Canadian creature.
That's true, yeah.
A Nova Scotian rapper.
Yeah.
You
Shout
know.
out to Classified, 'cause he got me.
This is the second time we shout out Classified this episode, actually.
Honestly,
I might cut it beforehand,
he's
but
awesome.
shout out Classified, man.
My inner ninja. I still play that shit every morning.
Oh my god.
Every morning.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How else am I supposed to get through the day?
All right, y'all talking about Classified. Let's wrap it up. It's over. We got our takes off. Deego, thank you for joining us. Alex's phone is about to die. And just assume that if anything more comes of this, we're gonna call you up and we want your takes on it. It's always great to get you on and get your perspective and chop it up with you.
Appreciate you, boys. I really look forward to these little moments. It's great, not having to worry about my kid for about 53 minutes a day. So, you guys need.
It's important, man. And I knew that we would go on long here because we were just me and you texting in the group chat, annoying our friends with this shit. I'm like, we gotta just get it on wax.
Oh
here,
man, when two people in the group chat are going, it's like, get your own fucking conversation.
Yeah. But it's so fun looking at the chaos because that's my personality. I like the chaos.
Yeah.
Anyways, great having me.
All right.
Appreciate you,
Deego.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
And we'll get you for the next one if need be.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll get Top on the phone too next time. We'll do a whole thing. We'll get Top on the phone. We'll do that's how we should end the podcast right now. Me and Alex will do push-ups and see how many we can do.
Yeah.
That's how we'll do it.
And then Baby Keem will come on at the end.
Baby Keem?
We gotta get the Baby Keem, JID, and Don Tolliver.
That's the new big three.
Yeah, that's the... Yeah.
I don't want anyone putting Baby Keem anywhere near the big three.
Fair enough.
All right.
Anyways.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Later.
Well, we did it.
Yeah.
We covered the beef. We got our thoughts on. Was there anything that we wanted to, last minute, anything that he said that took us off?
I've talked it completely to death.
Yeah, it's done.
I want to switch gears for one quick thing on...
For sure.
Did you see the Coachella thing, Tyler, the Creator, at Coachella?
Yeah, he brought out a few people, because this is the second weekend. He brought out...
I love how this was happening during the beef, because it's on the more alternative side of hip hop, it's just all love.
Yeah.
And Tyler is this great, he's bringing a
he
big
brought
tent.
out Rocky. He brought out Gambino.
Yeah.
Which Caliuchis. He brought out Earl this weekend. They did 40 seconds of ass milk. I'm like, oh my god, they did fucking ass milk at Coachella. My life is complete, dude. They did Rusty as well, of course. But I thought that was AI for a second. I'm like, there's no way they did ass milk at Coachella. But
that was just so cool to see that, there's this other side.
That's all love, and it's just yeah, man, it's great to see. And
we've talked this topic to death, and we want to, on the upcoming episodes, hopefully there's a lot of interesting things in the Childish Gambino world going on.
Yeah.
Announcing 2 albums.
There's a lot of stuff. We won't get into it right now because we've already talked to you guys to death, but I have a whole other sheet here ready to go about shit that's happening. He's dropped the 2 kind of loosey songs that kind of came out on his radio. A new radio show's dropping tonight. So his rollout's fucking ready to go. And we're excited for that as the art major students out here.
Yeah.
Excited for
we're
that.
We're going to be getting back. It's like we're kind of getting back to our roots a little because certain celebrities are coming back into
Schoolboy Q, got Drake and Kendrick going at each other, and Gambino's back in the news. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. Watch this space.
Joe Jazz, our boy Joe Jazz from across the seas, might be getting on the pod sooner rather than later.
Pretty soon.
We got talks with him going on, and maybe next time we'll keep it light with a game or something. We'll do something fun. The weather's getting better. Keep an eye out on our social media pages as well. Might be doing some fun stuff there at SuperFinger Inc. If you're watching this on YouTube, fucking please subscribe, man. It would be great. And like it and comment. Do all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the fucking streaming platforms, I'm sure you can rate us, or I don't know what that, you can give us 5 stars or do something. I don't know about that, but just know that we exist in all these spaces.
Follow us on all the socials.
Please don't call the cops. Coming on streaming soon. I mentioned it at the top of the episode. Stay tuned for music too. And
remember to get your pet spayed or neutered, because we have to control this pet population.
It's true.
It's getting out of control.
Alex, drop and give me 50. 1, 2, 3.
stack it up, pack it. Turn it, that's round and I smack it. Finna go in and attack it. Don't need a kid, wear a jacket. Stack it up, pack it. Turn it, that's round and I smack it. Finna go in and attack it. Don't need a kid, wear a jacket.